Well, hello my dear friends. I hope that all of you are safe and sound wherever you are, and most importantly healthy. So guys, in today's video I am going to talk about applying for your newborn's Canadian passport, your newborn's first Canadian passport. So guys, the basic steps are very simple and straightforward. First is you have to fill the application form. Second is you have to get all the supporting documents and 2 photographs. Third is finding a guarantor. And fourth is submitting the application form along with the fees. Guys, let's break this down into sub steps and we'll look at each one of them in detail. So guys, without further ado, let's just jump into the topic. Guys, let me tell you that the kid's passport is valid for a period of 5 years, but it cannot be renewed. It has to be applied new each and every time the old passport expires. Until and unless your kid turns 16, he or she will be treated as a child, and the child's passport validity, as I already said, is for 5 years and it has to be applied new each time it expires. So guys, we have already seen the 4 basic steps of applying for your kid's Canadian passport. Let's look at step number 1 in detail. Step number 1 was filling out the application form. There are 2 ways of doing it. One is either you can go online, fill the application form, take a print and mail it to the passport program. Option number 2 is, especially if you don't have a printer with you or if you are not comfortable filling out the information online, then what you can do is you can walk into the nearest Canada Post in Shoppers Drug Mart location and you will get application kits like this free of cost. Yes, my dear friends, free of cost. So you'll be getting application kit like this with a green border, which is for child's passport, and for adult's passport you will get a form like this with a blue box. So guys, for the making of this particular video, let's restrict ourselves only for the child's passport with the green box over here. So let me open this up and let me show you what we have inside. The very first thing which we have here is the general passport application. Guys, this form is the exact same form that you will be filling online if you opt for option number 1, that is filling the form online and then taking a print. This is the exact same form. So friends, whichever option you choose, either fill the form online or get a form like this and fill it, end of the day you have to mail the physical form along with the supporting documents, which brings us to point number 2 of the basic steps, which is getting the supporting documents and 2 photographs. So guys, let's look at that in detail. Guys, there are not much documents required for your kid's Canadian passport. Precisely only 2 documents is required. First one is proof of Canadian citizenship and second one is proof of parentage. Guys, it is imperative that at this stage you must have your kid's Canadian birth certificate. If you don't have it, you cannot apply for your baby's Canadian passport. So assuming that you already have got your baby's Canadian birth certificate, you are expected to submit the original birth certificate along with the application form. Yes, my dear friends, original birth certificate must be submitted along with the application form, and you will be getting the birth certificate in a separate courier once the passport has been issued. So don't worry about that, but yes, you have to give your original birth certificate. Coming to the proof of parentage, they are looking at some relationship or some document which establishes the relationship between you as a parent and your kid. Guys, long form Canadian birth certificate solves this purpose because the long form of Canadian birth certificate has the parent's name also included in the child's birth certificate. So guys, as you see in both the cases, one birth certificate of your baby, or precisely one long form birth certificate of your baby, will establish both the purposes. Guys, now coming to the photographs part, it is expected that we have to submit 2 identical photos of the baby for the Canadian passport. Guys, I would personally recommend going to a professional photographer rather than shooting the baby's photo at home. The reason being, there are strict standards which we have to follow as far as the photograph specifications are concerned. The entire instruction is given in the checklist over here, and I would request and recommend everyone to get the photographs clicked professionally. And once you get the photograph, make sure the photographer has stamped this particular thing on the photograph. So basically the professional photographer would be having the stamp pad ready, and they know exactly what is required for the Canadian passport, and they can get it done accordingly for you. Guys, now coming to the most trickiest part of this entire process, and that is finding a guarantor. Guys, when I am applying for my kid's passport, I as a father am the applicant and my baby is the one receiving the passport. So the guarantor has to know me personally for over a period of 2 years, must be having knowledge of the child's birth, must be a Canadian citizen above the age of 18. So guys, since my wife is nowhere in the picture, she can be the guarantor if all the criteria is true for her. If my wife cannot be the guarantor, I have to find someone else. The guarantor can be your friend, your landlord, your co-worker, your relative, someone from your family. As long as the other requirements are true, the guarantor can be anyone. So guys, you have to find a guarantor. The guarantor has to sign on the photograph. The instructions are given. The guarantor has to mention the line that I certify this to be a true likeliness of the baby's name, and sign on one of the photographs. And on the application form itself, the guarantor has to sign on the section which is given. So guys, this is the mandatory step, and this cannot be overlooked, or it cannot be left blank. In some of the cases, the passport program may contact the guarantor in order to get more information about the applicant. Guys, now coming to the final part of the application process, which is submitting the application and paying the fees. Guys, if you are applying for your kid's passport in person, you can pay there. But if you are sending it by post, you have to fill it in this particular section over here. You cannot pay it online. You have to give your credit card information over here, and then you will be getting a receipt of the amount deducted when you get your passport. So the kids passport application costs $57 if you are applying from Canada. If you are applying from US, it is around $100, and the approximate processing time can range anywhere between 20 days to 30 days. However, if you want it urgently, then there are express services also possible, but you have to pay extra for it. Guys, now that all the process is over, it is expected that you will be mailing your documents. If you are not submitting it in person, you are going to mail it through Canada Post. You'll be putting all the documents over here in this envelope, putting your home address over here, and then just mailing it. But guys, if you see, this envelope is pretty small, and the birth certificate is usually a bit big, the long form birth certificate, and you don't want to fold that because it's an original document, right? So what I would recommend is, rather than using this envelope, take the application with you along with the birth certificate and photographs, go to the Canada Post location and buy an envelope over there through Canada Post, and that one should have a tracking number with it. There are a couple of options available depending on the level of service. I would request you to go for an express service, since it will be delivered fast and you will be able to track it, because trust me, it is worth it, because you are sending an original document with it, right? So guys, that's it for the day. I hope you like the contents of this particular video, and I hope that it was really informational for you. If you have any other questions for us, please don't hesitate to write down in the comments below, and also follow us on Instagram, Facebook. Do check out our merchandise on Spring, and I have also given our official email ID in the link in the comments as well. So if there is any other questions, feel free to reach out to us. And with this, I say goodbye, take care, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and don't hesitate to comment. Goodbye, much love.